Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. It's Skylar in a witch hat. I'm a witch on a budget. It was $3. So I feel like doing some cupcakes for Halloween. Only Halloween video I'm gonna post, obviously, at this point. I'm gonna make just a simple devil's food cake and then do some quite literally very basic Halloween decorating. Anyways, let's get started. So I already have half cup of butter in my bowl, which is one stick if you're buying just the regular. What is it? Basically 2 cups of butter. So I am just gonna beat this real quick just to kind of get started, because I warmed up my butter, milk, and eggs using a space heater. I regret nothing. Alright, so I just wanted to beat it slightly just to kind of break it up a bit. And now we're just gonna go ahead and get our sugars in here. And I'm also gonna break out our eggs and our vanilla, because that's going to be coming very shortly. Yes, I pre-measured again, because I'm bad at time management on video. So, for sugar, we're adding 1 cup of light brown sugar. You can also use dark brown, that's all you have. Literally fine, just going to be potentially a deeper molasses taste, but you probably won't really taste that in this. And then a cup of just regular granulated sugar. And we're just going to take this off, make life easier. Put that right in. Alright, and then we're just going to beat this till it's well combined and fluffy, probably about like maybe 5 minutes or so. So you want this really well combined. Alright, so I'm just going to scrape this a bit just to make sure it's stuck on the bottom, which there definitely is, because life. And then I'm just going to add in eggs, 1 egg at a time, so just actually incorporate, because too much happening at once is going to end badly. Alright, there's 1. Oh, these eggs are actually not cold. Success! Alright, egg. Alright, and now I'm going to add in my vanilla. Get that incorporated. And we're only doing a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. So it's a decent amount. And we just want that combined in there so you don't have to go crazy with it. Just that's distributed. Alright. Alright. So let me do a quick little scrapey scrape. Make sure we're looking all good. Oh yeah, that's actually looking great. So I'm gonna just boop. I'm gonna go boop. Gotta not leave too much on my spatula. Alright. Now we are going to alternate with our dry and wet ingredients, but let me get the dry ready real quick. So I did make a change to the recipe slightly. Instead of using all-purpose flour, I am using cake flour, which if you do have some, you actually will use basically the same amount. So 1 cup of all-purpose flour is 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of cake flour. So you don't have to use it, I'm just using it because I have it on hand. And to this, I'm going to add a cup of cocoa powder. This is just regular unsweetened cocoa powder, but you don't need to buy the special Dutch processed or anything. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, and then a half teaspoon of cinnamon, which is an addition to this recipe, because I like cinnamon in all my chocolate recipes, especially chocolate chip cookies. And I'm just going to sift those through, just to make sure everything gets combined easily and I don't have lumps, which I literally have a bunch, so it's gonna take a little whisk, and I'm literally gonna whisk it inside the sieve. And that's a little crumbly, so I'll just get rid of. Alright, so I'm gonna whisk this together in here, just to make sure we're all combined. I want a nice even distribution, is that the word? Distribution of ingredients. Alright. That's good. And then with an alternating, you will always start with your dry and end with your dry. So you're going to do it in thirds for the dry. So you're going to start with a third. Then you'll do a half of your liquid, third of your dry, other half of liquid, last third of your dry. And we are using a cup and a half of buttermilk, If you don't have buttermilk, it's absolutely fine. Regular whole milk with a tablespoon of like vinegar or lemon juice, lime juice, some kind of acidic juice will go ahead and give you that acidity you need. Just make sure it is room temperature and let it sit for about like 5 to 10 minutes and you'll be all set. So I'm gonna scoop in some of my dry here to get this started. I am eyeballing this. If you really want to get precise, you can. I don't really... Well, I can't get precise, I just spilled some, so I already failed! Gonna be honest, I cleaned my counters, or tables, so... That didn't work out well. Nope. Nope. Already failing. Now I gotta wash the cloth I have underneath this. That's why I put a cloth down. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this going a little bit. So you're just gonna do each addition until it is combined, that way you do not overmix. And with the wet, I'm just gonna stream it in, just to make life a little bit easier. So once I start seeing it come together, start streaming slowly. That way it can start taking it in and absorbing the liquid without breaking the mixture. Alright, that looks pretty good. So this is going to be a thicker batter because it is a devil's food cake. Alright, let me take off my beater blade here. And then attempt to... No. Success. Alright, I don't see how easily I can try scraping this. Oh, we're gonna cooperate? We cooperating today. Oh, heck yeah. I like to see cooperation, because I want to literally lick this and I'm not going to because I'll regret it later. Alright. So what I want to do is kind of just scrape the sides here, and then just make sure that there isn't any leftover dry ingredients, which there definitely is a little bit. So I'm just going to gently kind of fold it in. So I'm going to be honest, I've never made this recipe as cupcakes, so this is going to be a first. I'm assuming it should hopefully make at least 24 cupcakes. And in the spirit of Halloween, I am going to use just some cupcake liners from Wilton. I do not know how well you'll be able to see these, but you know, it's just the basic Halloween colors with a little spider at the bottom. So let me get this trash out of my way. Garbage bowl. Rachel right now. Alright. Oh, I tied this a little too tight. Alright, can I yes, I can. So. And I'm not going to use these all, but thankfully, because unlike food, this paper's not going to expire, so I can use this stuff next year, or if I just want to make some spooky cupcakes for Christmas, I can make some spooky cupcakes for Christmas. Boom. Alright, so there's that. Get you out of my way. So with these, because it is a thicker batter, I am going to use an ice cream scoop. You only want these 3/4 full, because they're going to have a pretty good rise to them. So, literally scoop, and done. Woo! Okay, so for the cupcakes, just because they are so dense, I am actually going to kind of bang them lightly on my table, just so that way they can get a few air bubbles out. Go. And that will also kind of help the batter settle a little bit. So, they're not completely even, but they'll still be great. So these are going to go into a 350 Fahrenheit oven, which I think is 180 or something Celsius. Probably very wrong. I tend to check these quite early just because I don't really trust cupcakes that much. So I'm going to set these for 16 minutes, but I'm going to say they could take upwards to 20 probably. So really just check them early. I usually just touch the center. If it's lightly, if it springs back, they're good to go. If we got a cake tester, even better. Really just want to make sure it comes out either clean or just very few moist crumbs. Alright guys, so I'm back. We had a little bit of a mishap with the cupcakes. So, some of the cupcakes turned out pretty normal. Others got real big. So just be careful when filling your cupcake liners so that you don't overfill them, because they'll get interesting. So while these are finishing their cooling, I'm just going to go ahead and make my buttercream real quick. This is just the regular old American buttercream. So it's going to be 2 sticks of butter, so a cup basically. 4 cups of powdered sugar, confection sugar, icing sugar, whatever you like to call it. Please sift this, because powdered sugar, much like cocoa powder, loves to clump. And if it's clumpy in your icing, you're just kind of like pockets of sugar, which American buttercream's already sweet enough. You don't want to bite into a pocket of sugar. So I'm going to start by beating my butter a little bit. It is supposed to room temperature. Again, I heated mine with a space heater, so it's an interesting texture. My butter a little bit just to kind of break it up. And I'm going to go ahead and get this added. So with my frosting, icing, whatever you want to call it, I tend to kind of do it mostly in halves or thirds. Just a little bit at a time, because I don't want to do it all at once. So it's not a giant cloud of sugar like it's happening right now. And also so it can actually incorporate into the butter, because it can't really hydrate the sugar that quickly. So I want to do it in stages. Alright, now that I have this somewhat combined, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to scrape it down and then add a couple things to it here. So first off, let's scrape my beater off. We don't want all that sitting there. Mostly because I'm going to take the bowl off the mixer and I don't want this just to fall on the mixer, so more of an insurance policy for me than really caring about the beater. Alright, do it for a second. Alright, so I'm just going to scrape this down, make sure there's no powdered sugar trapped at the bottom, which thankfully there is not. So right now this is a pretty thick buttercream, because it kind of folds. It's not coming off very easily. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid, not a lot, partly because I don't really need a lot. So first I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon or so, just because I want kind of like a warmness to the frosting. Buttercream, I just want to call it frosting because of family, but you know. And I'd say probably about a teaspoon of vanilla. Alright, where's my napkin? Wipe that off. Alright, get you out of the way. And then a little bit of salt. This is going to be completely to taste, because I kind of love a little less salt in my buttercream, because I like the sweetness. So, I don't know, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon to half a teaspoon, depending on how you think it tastes. Definitely taste it before you add any more salt, so start with a little. And then with the milk, you can also do this with water. Again, complete preference. I'm going to probably start at about a tablespoon of milk and then move it upwards. So if it needs more, I'll do more, because I just want the right consistency. Because what you're going to need all depends on preference and also your conditions. If it's like really moist where you are, really humid, you're going to need less milk. Maybe even no milk at all. Alright, I think I might be there, so let me just push this back in. And give it a quick scrape and whatnot, just in case I need to go around it again. Boop. There we go. Take you off. I mean, it feels pretty fluffy, so I think I'm where I want to be, because it's spreading pretty well when I just kind of run my spatula through it. But it's not drooping, which is good. I don't want droop. Droop is bad. Alright, I am going to taste it real quick, though, just to make sure. I think that's good, and it's very velvety, so that's just what I wanted. So I guess I don't have to taste it more than once. I'm a professional, use more than one spoon, so you don't freak out. Alright, so next up is the icing part. Or rather, the decorating part. So I am going to dye this orange. So I just got some basic Wilton food dye. I terrible with actually dyeing things correctly. So I kind of just take blobs and work from there. So take a good blob of red, and I'm just gonna kind of spread that in with my knife because I don't have any little skewers at the moment, so we're just working with what we got, which is I got a knife. And then shouldn't need more than that because I'm not looking for a super deep orange because I don't have a lot of frosting and I'm mixing the color rather than just putting in orange coloring to begin with. If you put too much in, it's gonna start getting greasy. And this is gel food coloring, so that is a preference of mine. You can use liquid. Just remember that because of how liquid works, it is going to change the consistency. So I tend to use gel because typically it doesn't. Alright, I'm going to let that mix up a little bit. Alright, and the one thing about food coloring is you also don't want too much because a lot of dyes, especially gels, will darken as they sit. So this is a pretty pale, like salmony orange, salmony pink, which is fine. I actually want a lighter. I don't want it so dark that you can tell I dyed it and you're probably going to have stained tongues for like 2 days. Not really my thing. I am going to just run my spatula through because there's always going to be some on the bottom and they get mixed in, which is correct. There's plenty of icing that didn't get mixed in here. Alright. So I want to make sure that it gets nice and mixed in here. Oh yeah, that's great. Alright, so I'm gonna just pop this off here. Ooh, this got dusty. Just also why I have it sitting on like a placemat. So that way I can not have to worry about everything underneath it getting destroyed with powdered sugar. Alright, I'm gonna lock you. Just move you out of my way. Okay. So now the fun part. So, I got a lovely piping bag here. Got a lovely cupcakes. Now what I'm also gonna do here, so let me get this filled in. So I just have a regular piping bag. I have a Wilton 1M tip on here, which is just a basic star tip. One of the few Wilton tips I do have. I usually use Tico, but I just love this star tip. It just works very well because it's just like, it's the tip. So I do put my bag into a cup because it just makes it easier to actually fill. Because doing this for 5 years in a grocery store bakery, your hand starts getting pretty tired very quickly. So I'm gonna make my life easier by just keeping it in a cup so I don't have to worry. And then be careful not to overfill because as you're piping, you are gonna be squeezing it upwards. That is delicious. Though I might actually be okay with this recipe, to be honest. I think I can get most of it in here. Yeah, I can get most of it in there. That's fine. Don't need all of it, just most of it. Alright. It's like you can always add to it. You can't take away very easily. It just doesn't work. Now I am using a disposable piping bag. You can definitely use a reusable one. You can use a sandwich bag if you're crafty enough. I personally am not. Alright, so I'm just gonna pipe on the side there, get it going. This is my roommate Sailor Moon cup. Welcome to my life. Alright, so let's get a little fancy here. Let's whip out this lovely cake stand I got. Okay, so, let's take some nicer ones here. And then I like to do, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. I like to do just a very simple piping. So, in my case, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm not going to push down into it, just rest it just above and kind of just gently go around. Not a lot of pressure. And what that is doing is it kind of makes a little rosette almost, so it kind of looks like a flower. It's simple. You can raise it very easily, and it looks like you put a lot of effort into it. You really didn't. It's the tip doing all of it. Your only goal is just to very gently go around the cupcake. So just kind of hover above, just kind of go around until you cover the top of the cupcake, and then just let off on the pressure. I'm just gonna sprinkle, whoop, just some very basic sprinkle mix, so it's just like purple, blue, green, and black sprinkles. You know, Halloweeny. Can I even get in this very easily? Probably not. I'm gonna just put this a little bit in my hand. Because I'm not gonna tap this container with the cupcake. I will make a mess. So, a little sprinkle here and there. Go. And that's it. So that is my cupcake. These are meant to be simple cupcakes. You don't need to go crazy to make them look good. That's why I like doing just the rosette for the frosting. It's so simple. It looks great, and you don't have to fight for it. And you know what? Let me take a quick picture before I actually taste these. So let's taste test these. Let's take one that's like kind of bulging. I'll try this one. Because I mean, I gotta try my own cupcakes before I feed it to people. Ooh, that's so fluffy. I have never made these like as cupcakes. I've only done them as cake, like layer cake. All right, see if it tastes good. Mm. Mm. That was delicious. It's very fluffy, very moist. The only thing with me is I don't tend to use butter in my buttercream, so I'm a little off put if you saw my reaction there. I'm not used to the butter flavor. I usually use shortening, just because I actually prefer a neutral flavor, but I want the full experience, so. Oh my god. Alright, so that does it for me, guys. I hope that you make these cupcakes and they come out great for you. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And see you guys next time. Bye. I didn't do what I thought it would do. I'm just gonna Bye.